Every entrepreneur begins their journey in the exact same location. It is not a boardroom on Wall Street, nor is it a garage in Silicon Valley. It is in the quiet, terrifying solitude of the mind. Picture the scene. It is 3 a.m. You are sitting in a dimly lit room, the blue light of a laptop screen casting a pale glow on your tired face. The rest of the world is asleep, safely tucked away in the comfort of their routines. But you are awake. And you are not alone. You are accompanied by a voice. It is a whisper that snakes its way into your ear and settles in your chest. It says, "You are not ready." It says, "You are not smart enough." It says, "You are going to fail, and everyone is going to watch it happen." That voice is doubt. It is the gatekeeper of destiny. But here is the secret that the history books don't tell you. Every single empire, every billion-dollar brand, and every movement that changed the world began right there, in that room, with that whisper. The difference between the forgotten dreamer and the legendary entrepreneur is not that the legend didn't hear the voice. It is that they chose to answer it with action. Today, we are going to walk through the 10 fires you must walk through to turn that crippling doubt into inevitable destiny. Lesson 1. Doubt is not the enemy, and action is. The biggest lie you have been told is that you need confidence before you start. You are waiting for a magical feeling of certainty to descend upon you. It will never come. Confidence is not a prerequisite for action. Confidence is the result of action. Consider the story of Sara Blakely. Before she was a billionaire, she was a 27-year-old woman selling fax machines door to door in the Florida heat. Every single day, she faced rejection. She had doors slammed in her face. She had every reason to doubt her worth. She had a simple idea to cut the feet off her pantyhose to create a smoother silhouette. She had zero experience in fashion and zero investors. The voice of doubt was screaming at her. But she didn't wait for the fear to subside. She took $5,000, her entire life savings, and she moved. She cold called manufacturers who laughed at her. She stood in department stores begging people to try her product. She didn't have confidence, she had courage. Because she acted through the doubt, Spanx was born. 10 years later, she became the youngest self-made female billionaire in America. If she had waited until she felt ready, she would still be selling fax machines. Lesson 2. Start with the pain, not the product. Most entrepreneurs fail because they fall in love with a solution rather than falling in love with a problem. They build a product in a vacuum and then try to find someone to buy it. The masters do the opposite. They look for pain. Go back to San Francisco in 2007. Brian Chesky and Joe Gebbia are two designers who are broke. Their rent is due, the landlord is knocking, and they have no money. They are in pain. They notice a massive design conference is coming to town and every hotel room in the city is sold out. They see a gap. They go out and buy 3 cheap air mattresses, throw them on the living room floor, and put up a simple website offering a place to sleep and a homemade breakfast. They called it Air Bed and Breakfast. It wasn't a genius tech innovation. It was a survival tactic born from a specific pain point. That tiny, desperate experiment tapped into a global need for connection and affordable travel. Today, Airbnb is worth billions. Stop trying to be a genius. Start trying to be a painkiller. Look around your life. What is broken? That is where your empire is hiding. Lesson 3. Obsession outweighs resources. There is a common excuse that kills more dreams than anything else. I don't have the money. Let me tell you something. A lack of money is never the real problem. The real problem is a lack of obsession. Money is just fuel. Obsession is the engine. Look at Elon Musk in 2008. To the outside world, he was a rich guy playing with rockets. In reality, he was on the brink of total ruin. SpaceX had failed 3 launches. Tesla was bleeding cash. Musk had invested everything he had. He was sleeping on the floor of the Tesla factory, not as a PR stunt, but because he needed to be there to fix problems the moment they arose. He was working 120 hours a week. He poured his last remaining millions, money he needed for his own survival, into the companies to keep them afloat for just a few more weeks. That refusal to accept reality is what convinced investors to take one more chance. Today, Tesla is worth over $600 billion. If you are obsessed, you become resourceful. If you are just interested, you will quit when the money runs out. Lesson 4. Sell the vision before the product. If you cannot sell, you cannot lead. And the greatest sales in history were not sales of a product, they were sales of a vision. You have to sell the why before you sell the what. Travel back to January 2007. Steve Jobs walks onto a stage in San Francisco holding a device that isn't even fully functional yet. But Jobs didn't sell the processor speed or the battery life. He sold a prophecy. He told the audience, "Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone." He described a world where your music, your communication, and the entire internet lived in your pocket. He painted a picture of the future that was so compelling, people felt they needed to be a part of it. The audience gasped. They bought the vision first, the product was just the ticket to enter that world. You must learn to be a storyteller. You must make people see the castle when you have only laid the first brick. Lesson 5. Failure is feedback. In school, we are taught that failure is bad. In entrepreneurship, failure is the only way to get an A. Failure is the raw material of success. James Dyson, the man who reinvented the vacuum cleaner, knows this better than anyone. He didn't just have an idea and get rich. He went into his backyard shed and started building. His first prototype failed. So he built another one. That one failed too. He kept going. He spent 15 years in that shed. He went into debt. He built 5,126 prototypes. That is 5,126 failures. But Dyson didn't see them as failures, he saw them as feedback. Every broken prototype told him one way that didn't work, which brought him one step closer to the way that did. On the 5,127th try, he cracked the code. Today, he is a billionaire. If he had stopped at failure number 5,000, nobody would know his name. You have to be willing to look foolish for a long time to become a master. Lesson 6. Build relationships, not just reach. We live in the era of the influencer, where everyone is chasing numbers. But business is not built on reach. Business is built on relationships. Howard Schultz, the man who built Starbucks, didn't do it alone. In the 1980s, he visited Milan and saw the magic of Italian coffee culture, the connection, the community. He wanted to bring that to America. But back in Seattle, investors told him Americans wouldn't pay high prices for coffee. He needed money. He needed believers. Schultz didn't just blast out ads. He sat down in living rooms and boardrooms. He looked people in the eye. He shared his passion. He built relationships one by one. He got 242 rejections. But the few who said yes didn't say yes to the coffee, they said yes to Howard Schultz. They trusted him. Those relationships were the foundation upon which 35,000 stores were built. Stop counting likes. Start counting handshakes. Lesson 7. Persistence outlasts talent. Talent is overrated. The world is full of talented people who are poor and unknown. What is rare is persistence. Let's talk about Colonel Sanders. At 65 years old, most men are looking at retirement. Sanders was looking at a dead end. He was broke, living off a tiny social security check, with nothing but a recipe for fried chicken. He decided to franchise his recipe. He got in his beat-up car and drove across the country. He would walk into a restaurant, cook his chicken, and ask for a deal. He was told no immediately. He slept in the back of his car. He heard no 1,009 times. Can you imagine the ego death of being rejected 1,009 times at the age of 65? But he refused to stop driving. On the 1,010th try, he got a yes. That single yes started the KFC empire. It wasn't his cooking talent that saved him, it was his refusal to stop. Lesson 8. Master your money early. There is a tragedy in entrepreneurship. People who know how to make money but have no idea how to keep it. Making money requires offense, keeping money requires defense. Look at Mike Tyson. In his prime, he generated over $300 million. He had it all. But he had no financial discipline. He bought tigers and mansions he didn't live in. Within a few years of retiring, he filed for bankruptcy. He won the lottery of talent but lost the game of money. Contrast that with Warren Buffett. As a teenager, Buffett was delivering newspapers and investing the pennies. He understood compound interest. He understood that every dollar is a soldier that can go out and capture more dollars. He turned a few $100s of savings into a net worth of over $100 billion. You don't need to be Buffett, but you must respect your capital. Treat your revenue as oxygen. Track it. Protect it. Reinvest it. Lesson 9. Keep learning, keep adapting. The most dangerous phrase in business is "we've always done it this way." The moment you stop learning, you start dying. Look at Kodak. In 1975, they invented the first digital camera. It was a breakthrough. But Kodak's executives were terrified it would kill their film business. So they hid it. They refused to learn the new language of the future. The future arrived anyway, and Kodak went bankrupt. Now, look at Netflix. They started by mailing DVDs. But Reed Hastings saw the internet getting faster. He knew streaming was the future. He pivoted to streaming, hurting his own DVD business. Then, he pivoted again to creating original content. Netflix is constantly learning, constantly shapeshifting. Be like Netflix. If the world changes, change with it. If you stand still, you will get run over. Lesson 10, Destiny belongs to the bold. Finally, destiny favors the bold. The universe moves out of the way for the person who knows exactly where they are going and is willing to bet everything to get there. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first job as a news anchor because she was unfit for television. She could have believed them. Instead, she bet on herself, moved to Chicago, and built a media empire. Jack Ma applied for 30 different jobs in China and was rejected by every single one. He applied to KFC with 24 other people, 23 were hired, and he was the only rejection. He could have accepted mediocrity. Instead, he built Alibaba. These people didn't have a safety net. They walked to the edge of the cliff and built a plane on the way down. Closing fire. So here we are. We have walked through the fire. We have seen that doubt is not the end, it is the beginning. We have seen that pain is your compass, obsession is your fuel, and failure is your teacher. The path from doubt to destiny is a messy, chaotic, painful climb. It is full of late nights and people who will tell you that you are crazy. But remember this, every single person we talked about today stood exactly where you are standing right now. They felt the fear. They heard the whisper. But they made a choice. They chose to step into the arena. You have a choice to make today. You can listen to the doubt. You can stay in the safe, dimly lit room of what if. Or, you can stand up. You can open the door. You can walk out into the unknown and claim the destiny that has been waiting for you all along. If this message sparks something inside of you, do not let it fade. Share this with someone who needs courage today. Subscribe to History Maker 101, because we are not just a channel, we are a movement. Now, go out there and build something that matters. It's your time.